May profits be upon you. Welcome to another weekly Forex forecast. We're going to be taking a look at the markets for this upcoming week. But I want you to understand that I do not recommend that you trade this week. All right. If you're going to, make sure you look for confirmations to every entry. All right. This is going to be a highly volatile week. We got presidential elections happening in the United States on Tuesday. We have FOMC. We have an interest rate decision for, I can't remember which one now, which currency, but it's going to be one of those weeks where there's a lot of news, a lot of fundamentals at play, and things could get really wonky. All right. I suggest you wait. If you're going to trade this week, I suggest you wait until after the elections. And I definitely would want you to wait until after big news events, especially the FOMC. But my biggest recommendation would be just to take the week off. Okay, so much for that. Now, what I want you to see is the CAD. All right, the Canadian dollar. We're looking at the monthly. What I want you to recognize is that price has been pushing to make lows, lower high, lower low, lower high, and where are we on the way to? Probably making a lower low. All right, done it a couple of times already. I'm thinking that you know the trend is your friend, and we're going until it ends. You know what I mean? We made a low back here as well. You know what I mean? It's been a weak currency as of late. Look at this. This is not the kind of price action anybody wants to deal with. All right, on a month-to-month basis. All right, but you can see last month closed very strong, breaking the lows of the consolidation. All right, and closing below them. That would indicate further bearishness to come. All right, and that's what I'm looking at. Oh, keep your eye on this area here. Let's go to the weekly. The reason why is because this is setting up easy to reach lows where people have stop losses. All right, this will be an easy because they're so close to each other. It's low resistance liquidity here. All right, this could act as a draw on price. Now, if we come back over here on the weekly basis, you can see week after week after week has been closing bearish. There's a reason why, because they wanted to sweep that swing low. All right, we haven't had a meaningful pullback just yet. All right, maybe we're waiting to take that swing low here, which is one of these low resistance lows on this side, and then pull up. We don't know. We do not know, but what we can tell is what the order flow is. Bearish fair value gaps. Look at this. Bearish fair value gaps. And what we would expect is price would uh, use the bearish fair value gaps to push up and then back down. To push off of. You understand? All right. I'm not going to leave arrows on my charts this week because this week can get wonky. I just want to analyze right now. So we're bearish on the weekly, we're bearish on the monthly. And if we go to the weekly, all right, this is the Canadian dollar. Look how weak it is. All right, we have that weekly fair value gap here. All right, and we could see a relief rally come up. Oh, sorry. We could see a relief rally come up, push price higher before it continues its bearish descent. Okay, so I'm looking out for that because we just swept uh, this swing low here, and after a swing low, you expect some kind of pullback. Okay, and that could come at any time. What if we sweep this low down here, which I've already showed you? That could be the impetus for price to move up for a relief rally and then continue this bearish trend. You know, we'll see. We'll see. But you might be asking, what is that yellow line there? That yellow line is showing you that price has formed a bearish order block. All right, and we displaced well past that this open area for this candle, and we displaced and closed below the low of the entire range of the candle. So it's pretty bearish. And if price does come back up here, I would think it would find resistance here before coming back if we make it through the weekly fair value gap. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you to this is the Canadian dollar futures. This is the US dollar Canadian, the US dollar Canadian dollar. All right. The one that you'll find on your FX broker, or if you're not trading futures. All right. It's the same situation, just in reverse. This is the inverse. All right. And what I want you to see is that we have that bullish weekly fair value gap that price could find uh, uh, as a interior draw on liquidity here, because it's a interior range liquidity, and we could find ourselves finding higher external range liquidity. We've hit that high here, just like we hit the low in the Canadian dollar. We hit the high already for that external range liquidity. We could start to turn down and then up, just like we have the relief rally in the Canadian dollar futures. We could have the opposite in the US dollar Canadian dollar. All right, that's for you guys that don't trade futures. Okay, so look for that. I am bullish in this market. Now, if we go to the Swiss dollar, all right, we go to the Swiss dollar. I'm sorry, the Swiss franc. We look at the monthly. You can see price was very, very bearish. We broke structure here, pulled back, and it looks like we are continuing that bearish trend, heading towards this low. All right. If I'm looking to set a target, I would be looking at 1, 2, 3. All right, and move to the side, and you can see we have an 80% and 100%. If we get 100% of this move from this high down here, we'll land here, which is these which is pretty much aligned with the swing low here, the major swing low here. We have a swing low here, which is right around the 80%, and these I think that's exactly where we're heading. So these will be the draw on liquidity, because I believe this market, it will remain bearish. All right, we can move that. Okay, will remain bearish. We don't have a bullish fair value gap down here on the monthly, all right, to support higher prices, but we did create an area for a fair value gap to the downside. Okay, if we go to the weekly, a bearish fair value gap, I should say. All right, we have, oh, look at that, low resistance liquidity here. If price continues bearish like it is, we're going to run into that. This is going to be a nice draw on liquidity and push price lower. All right, we see that we've taken out this swing low, just like we saw in the US dollar CAD. In the Canadian dollar. All right, the Canadian dollar futures. All right, took out that low. We could expect a relief rally. There is potential for a relief rally to come, and oh my goodness, what is that? And push price higher in a short term basis, and then continue bearish down to where we can run into sweep those lows. All right, that price, I would not put price past that. Okay, do we see bullish fair value gaps that could turn price around? No, but we are running into an area where price has a fair area of fair value, or otherwise known as an order block, and price could find support here. If I could do this, where find it, there you go. All right, this would act as the uh, where price changes the state of its delivery, and we may find support here. But we got to come down to come get it. And if we come down there, we might want to come down here. If we come down here, we might want to come down here. But that's just speculation. Right now, we are bearish. And what I want you to notice is you see how far this high went? All right. Price wicked up, did not quite reach the weekly fair value gap there, but it closed below the previous candle low. All right. Which means at the very least, price will be bearish enough to take this low. So this will be our first target. This will be the first target. Okay. Now, if we go to the daily, what I want you to see is price has reached those lows, these swing lows, each time. And I don't want to distract you with them. I don't want to distract you. All right. We reached those lows, breaking those lows each time. And then we have this daily, this Friday left a very bearish candle, which closed below all the lows of this consolidation. And I expect price to continue bearish come early next week. We may, just coming next week, and we may come all the way back up. This is where the fair value is established. The order block, the price wicks all the way up there. That would invalidate a bearish fair value gap. So we're looking to see if we develop another fair value gap with the next candle. All right, but I'm looking at this as our target. Okay, if we look at, if we look at U.S. dollar Swiss, the inverse of the Swiss U.S. dollar Swiss. This is what this we're looking at the U.S. dollar Swiss right now. We just came off of the the Swiss franc futures. All right, this is the inverse of the Swiss franc futures. All right, this is for those that are with FX brokers. All right, and what you'll see is price did reach down here into the weekly fair value gap and respected it nicely. It looks like we are headed up here. All right. We are bullish on US dollar Swiss. We are bearish on Swiss franc futures. You understand? Just the opposite. All right. We have a big wick. We don't want to see price come past the 50% of this wick, the mean threshold. All right. Call it consummate encroachment, call it whatever you want. All right. But I'm looking for price to maybe come down or open, swing down, and then push back up to our draw on liquidity at the buy side. All right, the buy side. Did I say that? Okay, so uh, that's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for. Bullishness. All right, we got one more bullishness in the U.S. dollar Swiss. Did I even go to the daily? Let's see. Let me make sure we don't miss something. Oh yes, I want to point something out. You see this Friday candle, very bullish. It took the low and the high of the previous day's candle, and it established the weekly the high of the week. All right, this is a bullish indication for me. I'm looking for price to pull back and then go higher. This golden line is where the order block is, and also I'm looking. You see how it displays past these highs. This is an indicator that prices probably are going higher. So I'm looking for this as my draw on liquidity higher. Got it? Good. I know I'm stuttering. I know I'm stammering. Just bear with me. All right. Now, on the next one, we're looking at the yen. All right. On the yen futures say on the monthly, it's been weak for months. Look at all those months. Weak. All right. And I'm looking for price to just continue in that same trend. Low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. I'm looking for the lower low here. All right. I've already projected with the Fibonacci trend based extension tool. Okay. Uh, this is the 80%, this low. This is the 100%, this low. There's no low here just yet, but I believe that we're heading there. Okay, I do believe we were heading here. You see how the monthly candle closed. All right, last month. It's leaving a lot of room for this is an imbalance, and price is probably going to leave that imbalance. We're probably going to get a monthly fair value gap to the downside. All right, I'm looking for it. All right, but I'm looking for that swing low to be the first of the targets. Well, actually, not the very first target. The first target will be the monthly low. All right. If we go to the weekly, you'll see the weekly time frame. We get rid of that. Okay. All right. What do we see? We see a fair value gap here, a bearish fair value gap, price pushing down, another bearish fair value gap. All right. And price has gapped down, as you can see. It went back up. I'm thinking that price is going to continue lower. There's a bullish fair value gap down here, but I do believe that it will not hold price. Price may react to it and then continue down. All right. So all indications right now look bearish on the Japanese yen by itself. And you see these little baby teeth uh, uh, candlesticks. All right. I don't like these. Price continues down though, and you see this swing low over here. It's just an intermediate uh, swing low, but you can see price push down below it. We had a Thursday pullback into this gap, into this volume imbalance, and then you see the quick turnaround here. I think that we are going to take these lows, and this will be my very first. Uh, I would set this up as the very first target of liquidity. These lows here, and then we have low resistance liquidity here. There's no bullish fair value gap here to hold price from getting it. So this is going to be a pretty nice draw on price, in my opinion. If I can get you out of there and label you properly, there you go. So, and because we took that swing, that little swing low there, and we're balancing on a old bullish fair value gap. I don't even, I don't like looking over here because that's old stuff. I'm looking for price to quite possibly take this low and start a relief rally or pullback right here. Right, yeah. All right, I'm looking for that. All right, there's a bearish fair value gap here, and I think that price is going to hit. I do. All right, it's a supply really, and I want to see price take these highs out, but we'll see if it comes down here first and then goes up. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, and if we go to the U.S. dollar, Japanese yen, the inverse of what we just came from, you'll see that I've marked out that monthly fair value gap here. There's a monthly fair value gap that price has found its way into. We moved into this area, into that zone bullishly. You see the bullish uh, weekly fair value gap here. We're on the weekly now. We're looking at the bullish weekly fair value gap here, which is running into this bearish monthly fair value gap. Do I think the monthly fair value gap is going to hold? I have my doubts. Why? Because if you look closely, you'll see that we're respecting the middle line, the mean threshold of this bearish fair value gap, but and we showed some respect, but we opened above it, came down into it again, and then pushed higher. This looks like a rejection of the mean threshold of this monthly fair value gap. I'm looking for price to quite possibly go higher, and we may use the weekly fair value gap to do so. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please make sure you leave a like on the video, and you subscribe to my channel so you can get the updates that you'll find throughout the week in the comment section. Thank you again, and may profits be upon you.